counting down the minutes to the first pitch of today's game.
Yes!
Who's in the starting lineup?
Come on, son, you got to get out there and take the mound. It's game time.
What does the skipper have to say?
It's an attitude, you got to be willing to defend. You got to be willing to base run, or you can't play here.
It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wortz on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome into the Leadoff Show, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wortz and Steve Sparky Fifer getting you all caught up on all things Brewers Braves. Game 3, Milwaukee going for the sweep. It'll be Jose Quintana going up against Spencer Strider of the Atlanta Braves. 6:15 first pitch today from Truist Park in Atlanta. Game number 114 of the series. Brewers 25 games above 500 right now. We got to get to our starting lineups because it gets a little bit different by kicking it back old school.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
We'll get Steve Sparky Fifer's reaction to this lineup as well coming up here. Starting things off with the Atlanta Braves. Leading things off in right field, it'll be Eli White. Ozzie Albies will bat second, plays second base. Matt Olson at first base will bat third. Marcelo Zuna, the DH, will bat fourth today. Sean Murphy, the catcher, will bat fifth. Jurickson Profar in left field will bat sixth. Michael Harris, the center fielder, bats seventh today. Nacho Alvarez Jr., the third baseman, batting eighth. Nick Allen at shortstop will bat ninth. Sal Frelick will be back in the Brewers lineup today. He leads things off, plays right field. William Contreras is catching, batting second. Isaac Collins in left field will bat third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Blake Perkins in center field will bat sixth. Bryce Terang at second base bats seventh today. Anthony Siegler, the third baseman, batting eighth. Rounding things out for the Milwaukee Brewers, it is Joey Ortiz, the shortstop, batting ninth. Joining the Leadoff Show now, you heard him on Wisconsin Sports Daily. He's live at the Wisconsin State Fair. It is Steve Sparky Fifer joining me now here for the next hour or so. Mr. Fifer, your reaction to the Brewers lineup today. Sal Frelick back now for Milwaukee. Isaac Collins in the 3 spot. Andrew Vaughn in the 5 spot. Your initial reaction, sir?
I don't want Siegler in this lineup. Can we send him down? I'm done. I've seen enough. I don't need to see any more Anthony Siegler. Just play Caleb Durbin every day, and let's just go. And I understand Caleb Durbin struggles against right-handed hitters, and that's fine. I get it. But my God, Siegler is hitting like a $179. I don't need to see Anthony Siegler anymore. I'm sure he tries hard. I'm not saying he's not trying hard, but I've got enough of a sample size with 2 months to go that he's not going to be, necessarily the answer at third base right now.
Yeah, I have the Brewers OPS in July, all July last month for Milwaukee last month. It was Andrew Vaughn leading the way with 1,157, just insane, right? Isaac Collins was third on that list with an 847 OPS. Caleb Durbin was fourth, 789 in July. Anthony Siegler, 419 OPS during that same time as well.
Right, now take it to the other guy on this team, Joey Ortiz, who's batting last. You and I were texting about this last night. Let's bring it to everybody else. Now, this was before last night's stats went in, and he had a couple of hits last night, if memory serves correct. So this was before last night's game. Joey Ortiz splits, okay? Remember, he sucks. They need somebody else at shortstop. Joey Ortiz on the road this year, and these numbers are better now, but 279 batting average, 345 on base, 391 slugging. All right, that's not great. 736 total, right? On base and slugging.
Yeah.
At home, at American Family Field, Joey Ortiz is hitting 149, 183 on base, and a 232 slugging percentage for Joey Ortiz. But Caleb Durbin is hitting 230 or whatever against right-handers, can't play against right-handers. Why is Joey Ortiz playing at American Family Field considering how garbage those numbers are?
Joey Ortiz updated on the road, 286, 353
Look at
on
that.
base, 749 OPS after yesterday. Speaking of yesterday's game, let's go over it here. We always do in the first segment. It's called The Rewind.
Did you miss the last game? Did you miss what was said after the last game? It's time to rewind. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan.
Freddie Peralta going up against Joey Wortz of the Atlanta Braves, and Freddie Peralta started doing Freddie Peralta things, high pitch counts, but not really allowing anyone to come across to score. We jump ahead to the third inning. That's when Milwaukee would start things off. After Christian Yelich would reach on an infield single with the bases loaded, a pass ball would allow more runs to come across for Milwaukee. That's when Andrew Vaughn continued to be as hot as he has been.
Do here on pitch 12, and Vaughn, a base hit to left. One runs in. Yelich trying to score. The throw from Profar is late. Andrew Vaughn.
Yeah, what an at-bat right here from Andrew Vaughn.
Andrew Vaughn has the second most RBIs in Major League Baseball since July 7th. Kyle Schwarber's had a monster week. He has the most now, but 26 runs driven in for Andrew Vaughn since being called up with the club. Brewers were up 4-0. They would get a run back in the bottom part of the fourth after Freddie Peralta allowed a home run to Eli White, would make things 4-1. In the sixth inning, however, that's when Milwaukee would strike back after Bryce Terang brought in a run from a single, made things 5-1. In the sixth inning is when we really want to talk about it. That's when Isaac Collins started getting in on the action. Or actually, it was Isaac Collins and Bryce Terang in the sixth inning.
Collins to left, and Profar misplayed it. Collins is going to end up at least at second base. And now he's going to turn on the Jets, trying for third. The throw there is going to be late. And Collins ends up at third base as Profar turned that fly ball into a zoo. And Terang whistles one back up the middle for a base hit. 5-1 Brewers as they take advantage of the misplay.
Isaac Collins in the seventh, however, adding on more as well.
Right back up the middle, a base hit. That'll score two. Yelich scores standing. Another big hit for Isaac Collins.
Aaron Ashby comes in the seventh inning. He allows a run via a bases-loaded walk. It would be 7-2. That would be the final score of the game. Milwaukee walks away with their 69th victory on the season, now 25 games above 500, as we said. Freddie Peralta with the victory, 5 innings, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 13-5 now on the year. Joey Wortz gets the loss, 5 1/3, 5 earned runs, 2 3 now on the season. The Braves fall to 47-65. Now I bring you back, Steve Sparky Fifer. Yesterday, Freddie Peralta really the topic of conversation, correct? And, can you put this ace label on Freddie Peralta? He has not really been going deep into ball games, and we've seen it out of Brewers starting pitching. Your take on Freddie Peralta yesterday after the 7-2 victory over Atlanta?
I'll be honest, I wasn't paying that much attention to how deep in games he was going until this got brought up in the last couple of days, that this is seemingly becoming an issue with Peralta because you're right. He's not making ace money. He's making $8 million a year, but he is the number one starter. He is your all-star at this point. So you expect more from Freddie Peralta than you do Woodruff or Mizorowski or Priest or Quintana. And when you are an ace, if you are a Sabathia, if you are a Zach Greinke or a Gallardo or a Sheets or whoever, yeah, you're expected to go 6-7 innings, maybe 8 once in a while to save your bullpen when it's your turn in the rotation. The fact that Peralta has only done that like twice the entire season, and last night being the latest example where we're in the fourth and I'm going, oh my God, is he going to be able to get through 5 at this point? And he did, and we survived, and they won again, and he gets another win, which is great. But when we start talking about getting to the postseason and putting him on the mound at that point, is he going to provide enough? I think yes. I think we'll be okay, but it's definitely a talking point around Freddie Peralta right now, and it'll be even a bigger talking point when it comes contract time if he doesn't figure this out as far as who his next team is going to pay him and whether or not they use this against him.
It's the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz, Steve Sparky Fifer getting you ready for Brewers and Braves game number 3. And I think really what I look at too, Sparky, is that what Brandon Woodruff has been able to do going into deep into ball games as well in his return. And that was 2 years off for him, and he's figured a way out. Now, last 4 starts for Brandon Woodruff, 6 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings, 4 1/3, and then his 5th start as well, 6 innings. Freddie Peralta in that same time frame, his last 5 goes 5 innings, 4 innings, 5 innings, 5 innings, 6 2/3, right? Brandon Woodruff has been able to pitch deeper into ball games now than Freddie Peralta has been. Is that not a concern?
I don't know if that's a concern. Remember, when Woodruff was healthy, he was the 2 behind Burns. Peralta has been the 3 his entire career.
Yeah.
This really is the first year, legitimately, we're coming into the year, you're like, okay, dude, you got to be 1. Go be the guy. Go see what you can do. And that's kind of where we're at. And not everybody can be that dominant starter. ERA-wise, he's living up to the hype and having a career year for him personally from an ERA standpoint. Now you're asking him to take the next step. We had Jerry Augustine on earlier, former Brewers pitcher on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's earlier today here on The Fan in the 2 o'clock hour. And we talked about the idea of, look, Priester is going deeper into games at this point, but he's more of a pitch-to-contact guy, right? He's trying to induce all those ground balls and doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like Peralta is more of a trying to strike guys out and maybe more of a nibbler maybe than what Priester has been.
Yeah, and I think there's value to that for sure, where you can see that you need a strikeout in a moment where, I think of a bases loaded, 2 outs, right? Or 1 out at that point. Whatever it is, you need a strikeout to get back into the game. But Priester constantly finds himself not in those situations because of how he's pitching right now. And Freddie Peralta, they showed the spray chart yesterday of his fastball, and it was all over the place. He cannot find the fastball, it feels like right now. Needs a reset in some capacity. That is what we are looking for out of Freddie Peralta. After the game was over, manager Pat Murphy speaking to the media after the game, he spoke about the grittiness of this Milwaukee Brewers team, plus all the success that has gone into this great run for Milwaukee, in which they are 44-16 over their last 60 games, a Milwaukee Brewers franchise record. Here is manager Pat Murphy.
We said that in, you guys weren't there, we said that in Washington, I think. Same thing, we do just chip away, we've had it. But, I wasn't, this is a game that easily, when the other team leaves 14 on base and only scores 2 runs, they certainly didn't get the big hit. And we know how capable that lineup can be. So I think we were fortunate. I'm not going to discredit our players, but we got to look at that as, we could have done a little bit more, but their kid pitched really well, and the left-hander was really good, and the left-hander they brought in was really good. So I thought they pitched really well, and we chipped away, and we're fortunate to take advantage of some walks, but that's who we are. And timely hitting. Yelly gets a big hit. Vaughn gets a big hit. Collins, what can you say, man? The kid's on fire. Joey Ortiz swing it really good. Terang had a big hit. So, yeah, just we pecked away and got it done, but they left a lot of guys on base. It's kind of a little bit nerve-wracking. Freddie made some big pitches at some big times.
Went 12 pitches. Long is that bad? Good.
Struck out.
Oh, yeah, second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's unbelievable. 2-out situation.
Cut you off if I was.
Oh,
I'm going to throw some numbers at you. I probably 40 for those. Understanding or looking at the next game, does that any of that mean anything to you?
Of course it does. Of course it does. But you got to look at, you really have to be disciplined right now. More than ever before, we got to be disciplined. It's how we play and the mindset we're in when we play, because circumstances say ball could have bounced the other way, and we're not. Those numbers aren't there. You have to just be consistent in how you prepare and be attached to your process, not your results. Now, from a team standpoint, the fact that we're putting it all together, I know the guys feel good about themselves, and they should. And I want them to. And I'm not putting them down in any way. I love this team. I love who they are. But you have to play the game a certain way, and you can't assume that everything's going to go our way going forward. And you're going to have some bumps in the road. But you have 49 games in the regular season left to play. And if we take care of business there, then we'll have another season, you know. But this team is full of the right people, and that doesn't necessarily mean you win baseball games. But if you put it together and you take advantage of your strengths and you stay disciplined and you stay emotionally attached to the process, you know, you'll keep playing hard every game, and I've seen that out of them.
There is the manager, Pat Murphy, highlights in that sound as well, courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network. And I know you, Steve Sparky Fifer, have been a little more critical, I guess, on Pat Murphy in postgame and comments sometimes. But you got to admit, sometimes he says some pretty profound stuff where you say you need to be attached to the process and not the results. It seems like that is a very common theme with this Brewers team, where they're not satisfied with what happens and how everything works out in their outcome, but rather every day just showing up to do their job.
You know, I talked about that with Jerry Augustine earlier today, too, on Wisconsin Sports Daily, about the idea of, you know, what's his biggest challenge right now for Pat Murphy? Because, I mean, there is a legitimate chance by the time we get to September, they may be 6, 7, 8 games up in the division. If they win that 5-game set against the Cubs starting on the 18th, let's say they take 4 of 5 or 3 of 5, and they expand that lead even more, they may be 6, 7, 8 games up come beginning of September. Now you're trying to figure out, okay, we're the 1 seed. We're significantly in front of everybody else. So now how do I keep my guys motivated and playing that way? We're not resting anybody, obviously, but to keep that momentum going forward for a month where, you know, you're kind of just having to go through the motions to get to the postseason. They faced the same dilemma last year when they won that division by 10 games over the Trader and the Chicago Cubs down there. So that is the biggest thing that they have to deal with. But if there's anybody I want to be in charge of keeping somebody grounded, Pat Murphy seems like the right guy to keep somebody grounded.
Yeah, and I before we get over to Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, coming up on the other side, checking in with the expert. It's not an award that many people talk about midseason, but Pat Murphy's obviously a front runner right now for Manager of the Year in the National League. At what point are we going to start having the conversation of where does he rank among the rest of the managers in Major League Baseball? Because he won the award last year, and he's got this team who everyone counted out. Now look at him here. He's leading this team to a 1 seed and one of the best stretches in Brewers baseball history.
It's nice. It's cute. Sounds great. But at the end of the day, Tommy Wortz, you got to do something in the postseason, man. Like,
sure.
I mean, he's only been here a couple of years, so it's not like it's 10 years. He gets knocked out every year in the.
Oh, I think I lost you, Sparky. I don't know where you went there, but we'll try to reconnect with you on the other side here. Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook going to join us here on the leadoff show. Get you some of the best bets if you want to get any action on today's game. We will be back with Mr. Herdina on the other side. It is the leadoff show live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Let's get the latest on today's odds for the game. What's the best way to go? Let's check in with our expert from the Potawatomi Sportsbook to find out. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome back to the Leadoff Show, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Me, Tommy Wortz, with Steve Sparky Fifer. Before we get over to Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Milwaukee Brewers lineup looks like this today. Sal Frelick in right field, back, leads things off. William Contreras, the catcher, bats second. Isaac Collins in left field will bat third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth today. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Blake Perkins in center field will bat sixth. Bryce Terang at second base bats seventh today. Anthony Siegler at third base bats eighth. Joey Ortiz, the shortstop, bats ninth for the Crew. Joining the show now, as he does each and every day on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law Offices, sportsbook manager over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It is Austin Herdina joining us here on the Leadoff Show. Austin, how are we doing today, my friend?
Very good. Coming off another Brewer victory yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. The team's been red hot, on fire right now, and I'm looking over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook betting odds, and we'll get right into it because is it plus money to bet on the Brewers today? Is that what I'm seeing, Austin?
It is the gift that just keeps on giving right now. The Milwaukee Brewers on the money line. I mean, how can you go away from it? It just keeps winning, and now you're getting plus money on it.
Yeah, plus money, plus 114 over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook is the money line today. The run line at plus 1.5 for Milwaukee will get you minus 180, and the over-under set at 8 today, Austin Herdina. What are we looking over today at the Potawatomi Sportsbook to get a parlay going for the people?
So listen, when the Brewers are an underdog, meaning that they're getting plus 1.5 on the run line, they have won that in 18 straight games. So it's incredible when people are counting us out and that we're the underdog in the game, we're either winning or we're losing by just one. So that's something that, is just something to take a look at. If you're someone that thinks that the Brewers plus 1.5 is a good value, I'm on the Brewers money line myself today. I like just outright plus money. Give that to me again. This Braves team is having one of the worst years they've had in a long time. It's just not clicking for them this year. So Brewers on the money line. I like Yelich to get a hit today, and I like the under of 9. I moved it up a little bit to 9. I think Quintana has just been great. Strider, of course, is a great pitcher. I think it's going to be another low-scoring game today. I think the Brewers are going to pull it out.
All right, so parlay for the people today from Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Brewers money line, Yelich to record a hit, and the under alternate line of 9. That pays plus 400, 4-1 odds you get over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Austin, I'm going to bring in my boss coworker here, Mr. Steve Sparky Fifer, who's down at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds as well. And he did not know, because I thought he listened to my show every day. It doesn't sound like he does. That's okay. But you broke some news to him, and I want you to elaborate on that news on what's going down over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook and Brewers games now here in the future.
Yes, starting Friday, every home Brewer game the rest of the year, we will be providing shuttle service from Potawatomi Sportsbook. So you can come in, make a bet, $5 or more, or eat at one of our restaurants. Just hold on to your receipt. Really, you just got to show some activity of being a customer in our business on Friday, or any day there's a Brewer game. And you come to the sportsbook and you show us that ticket or you show us that receipt, and we're going to give you a wristband, and that is going to get you on the shuttle bus. And those are going to run starting 1 hour before Brewers game times, all the way until 1 hour after the end of the game. So if you want to get to the game early, you can leave our sportsbook by an hour before. If you want to get to the game, right on time, you want to make your bet first, hang out for a while, go play some other games in the casino. We'll be running those shuttles all the way until game time.
I will tell you, Mr. Austin Herdina, that I am watching something very closely with this home shuttle deal, because you guys have done this once before and they lost. So you're 0-1. If they come home and they get swept with 3 more days of the shuttle service, we're going to have to talk about changing something up because this here is very critical. We cannot be screwing up momentum for the Milwaukee Brewers right now out in front, Mr. Herdina.
Listen, I think it's only going to improve the odds that we win if we're going to get more fans, more of these bettors that have some money on the Brewers going to the game, cheering harder. We got the Mets coming into town. Are we worried about the Mets right now? They're playing. I heard that in the last month and a half, they've had one of the worst records in baseball. They had a great start to the year, but they've been struggling. So I think Brewers, they got another series here where I think we got to get 2 out of 3.
I will tell you right now, I would never say such a thing because that would jinx him into a sweep for sure if I said something like that and be that positive and cocky about the Brewers. So you will never catch me saying anything like that. I will say I am very confident and cocky about the idea of there's not a better place to host your fantasy football draft than the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tell people how they can do that and what's all involved.
Absolutely. So if you are interested in holding your fantasy football draft at our Potawatomi Sportsbook, you can get a designated space, whether it is in our balcony level overlooking the sportsbook, or if you want to be in the heart of the action and be one of our be in a couple of our VIP booths. You're going to go to Potawatomi.com, go to Sportsbook, and on the homepage of the Sportsbook there, you're going to see a information link. You're going to fill out some information such as the date that you're looking to host it, the time, how many people. This is going to be $49.95 per person. It includes 3 alcoholic drinks per person. It includes chicken wings and pulled pork sliders, chips and salsa and cheese boards and just a bunch of options like that. It's such a great experience. We have a large table for seating up to 14. We have our draft board. If you're interested in that as well, you can mark that on the list. It's just going to be awesome. We have like a podium. We got the stickers to put up. You can really make it into a real fun experience for your league.
Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, sportsbook manager at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. A lot of great stuff going on over there, including shuttles from every Milwaukee Brewers home game now for the rest of the season starting on Friday. Your fantasy football drafts, if you want to set that up. I know a lot of people like to be in the heart of the action, but, we've been now to the Potawatomi Sportsbook on that second level and that second deck. That's just unmatched. I would absolutely sign up there. You get the private experience. Plus, you get all the three drinks with all of that, plus great food like they had over there. It's an unmatched deal. Austin, thank you so much for jumping on today. Have a good rest of your day, my friend.
Hey, hold on.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Austin Herdina, we were talking about before the break, before I got cut off by Tommy, about Manager of the Year and Pat Murphy. What kind of odds are there for anybody really at this point when you start talking about possibly having a back-to-back Manager of the Year? That does not happen often in sports.
No, it definitely does not, because usually the Manager of the Year award is going to someone that they did not have high expectations for, and that's hard to do 2 years in a row. So that would be pretty impressive. I'm looking right now. I'm not currently seeing a market for that. I don't know if that's just because there's games already being played today right now, but that is an interesting market. I'll see what we have for it, and I'll get back to you next time about some odds for that.
All right, perfect. Austin, have a good rest of your day, and, of course, go Brewers.
Go Brewers.
There he is, Austin Herdina over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. His betting parlay for the people today, one more time. Brewers money line at plus 400 with Christian Yelich to record a hit, and the under of 9 plus 400 over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm sure you have been licking your chops right now for this next segment here because we finally have the opportunity to do this together. Let's get to it here on the Leadoff Show.
The key to building a winner in baseball is a strong minor league system. Who are the names we should know? How did they play in their last game? Ironworkers Local 8 brings you Building a Winner. Be a cowboy of the sky. Apply now at IWL8.org. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Yes, time for another Building a Winner feature presented by Ironworkers Local 8. Thanks again to Ironworkers Local 8 for being a part of the Leadoff Show all season long, and a lot to update on with call-ups yesterday near the end of the season, some more action in the minor leagues for sure. Let's start things off with AAA.
Nashville Sounds.
Nashville yesterday losing 6-2 to the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. That is Miami's AAA affiliate. Tyler Black, Sparky's favorite prospect, 2 for 3,
Yuck.
2 runs scored, a stolen base. Ethan Murray picks up his first AAA hit after being called up, but really, Shelby Miller struck out 3 batters during his scoreless inning of work in his first rehab assignment. Brewers acquired Miller from Arizona along with Jordan Montgomery on July 31st in exchange for a player to be named later or cash. Miller has been on the 15-day IL since July 7th, retroactive to July 6th with a right forearm strain. It said if everything went well and he felt good after, he should be ready to return to the Major League Ball Club. How big do you think Miller could be for this team down the stretch here, Sparky?
Huge. Absolutely huge. Because, again, when they got him, he hadn't pitched in a month. So I wasn't even convinced that he'd even get to rehab at this point. So he goes out, strikes out the side, does his thing. He's big for this team because they've overused the relievers. Pat Murphy was talking about the other day, the usage rate on our relievers and how much we've used them. Kind of like bragging, like, hey, look at how much we've overused our guys. Well, hey, I don't want to blow up their arms before we get to the playoffs. So adding another reliever like Shelby Miller, who has a sub-2 ERA, to the back end of that bullpen is a huge deal for this Milwaukee Brewers baseball team.
Biloxi Shuckers.
Heading to Double-A now, Mike Bovee 2 for 5 with a homer, Luis Lara 2 for 4 with an RBI, and Cooper Pratt all picking up a hit with an RBI yesterday, and yet still losing 5-4 to the Knoxville Smokies. That is the Cubs Double-A affiliate. Double-A now getting a little more exciting as we've seen a couple call-ups, and Bovee back, Cooper Pratt back now, and Luis Lara recently in the top 10 of the Milwaukee Brewers organizational standings according to MLB Pipeline. Double-A do anything for you, Mr. Spark? Cooper Pratt, maybe the most exciting name there still?
I don't know. I like Bovee. I'm the Bovee guy. Lara, I feel like I've been waiting on him since before I had gray hair. So we'll see what Lara ends up being at the end of the day. But I still think there's some good talent at Double-A with Biloxi. This farm system's loaded. I mean, we know how loaded this farm system is for the Brewers, and that's the lifeline to this team, playing for a playoff spot each and every year.
Wisconsin Timber Rattlers.
Start things off with a bang. Why not?
Ready, the pitch. Driven deep to left field. Luis Pena, welcome to the Midwest League. A solo home run.
Solo homer for Luis Pena in his first high A at bat with the Timber Rattlers. They weren't done there either. Jesus Mate had an appearance.
3-2. Blister down the line towards right. This will find the corner. Nicosia going to get the wave. He'll come home. The throw to third base is going to be late, and able to get in there is Mate.
Jesus Mate and Luis Pena making an impact, Sparky. And I didn't want to say anything. It's only one game. But as soon as Luis Pena homered, you were the first person I told. I'm not, no shade at Jesus Mate. I think he's great. I'm just trying to tell people Luis Pena is coming, and when he gets here, he's going to hit you in the face if you're not ready for it. I'm so excited to see both of these guys moving up, though.
I would like to say, for the record, that people need to show some respect, put some respect on the name of Tommy Wortz going forward for his sports knowledge, his baseball acumen, his ability to judge talent and rate talent going forward. What I mean by that is I've had several people text me and be like, hey, I heard Drew Wagner saying they think Pena's going to be better than Made. That's the first person I've heard say that. And I've yelled at all of them. I said, that's not true. Tommy Wortz has been saying this for months. Wagner's late to the party. This has all been Tommy Wortz all the time. If anything, Drew has been listening to Tommy and stole his stuff. But either way, Tommy Wortz, you've been on this train before everybody else. So you deserve a lot of credit. If Pena ends up being better than Made, you were the first one that was on that hype train before anybody nationally was on that hype train.
I just look at the numbers and watch the games, right? I don't know what else you do other than that. Mate has the analytic advantage, and I think that's why a lot of people like him. But Luis Pena, ever since I heard that they like moving them together because they think Pena thrives off competition, every single lineup should involve Luis Pena and Jesus Mate right next to each other because he has thrived every time in those moments.
Carolina Mudcats.
Carolina, a little less exciting, but Handelfrey Encarnacion got moved up, and he picked up his first affiliated low A hit. He went 1 for 3, and the Carolina Mudcats fell 6-3 over Lynchburg. I forgot to mention, the Timber Rattlers won over Peoria yesterday, and they have been struggling. They cannot catch a win here in this second half. You bring up Mate and Pena at the same time, they pick up a victory. It's not going to really translate to any postseason success since they're probably eliminated already with the season wrapping up in just a little bit, but just 12 games left to go see the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers after Luis Pena and Jesus Mate moving up too.
So of what's left on the Mudcats, who's the best one left?
Well, I think the most exciting name getting moved up was Handelfrey Encarnacion, and they have some pitching prospects there that are still exciting. Melvin Hernandez was one that we talked about with what's his name now? Kevin Holden, obviously down there, and I think he's probably the most exciting name left down there because.
What about Deturi? Isn't Deturi down there? Wasn't he another infielder?
Yep, Filippo Deturi has been playing a lot of different positions over there because of Mate and Pena. They've been circling them around second, short, and third. I would say that this is probably now a time for him to explode in his, be the face of the Carolina Mudcats, if you will. Batanti as well, I believe, down there too. That's another name that keeps being exciting every time you hear him. But he's had a couple of ups and downs because of injury this year. We'll see if we can see him start to really explode as well. This Building a Winner feature, by the way, presented by Ironworkers Local 8, building Milwaukee's future one beam at a time. I mean, I just couldn't have, the chef's kiss on Luis Pena's first homer in his first AB. He was batting second. I mean, he was the second at bat of the game, and that's what he did. I love what he does. I love what he does, and the power, I'm not worried about it. It will come.
Isn't that a directive from the front office for the Brewers, though? I mean, don't you say to them, hey, man, these guys need to get as many at-bats as possible while they're at high Class A, bat them towards the top of the lineup so they can get as many at-bats as possible going forward. And, I mean, you know that lineup better than I do. Are they the two most talented dudes in that lineup now?
In Wisconsin, for sure.
Yes.
And they even brought up Dingus earlier in the year, who became, again, another exciting one as well. Marco Dingus up there still. We had said we thought it was going to be a little bit sooner in the year, but we can't wait till this becomes the Wisconsin Mudcats because everyone in Carolina was going to come up and just take over, and they did immediately in their first game.
And you would assume these guys are back with Wisconsin next year to start the season with the Timber Rattlers, and then you're talking about winning a championship next year with the Timber Rattlers once these dudes come.
Yeah, I mean, it should be exciting for sure. It's sad, I guess, in the Carolina sense because of how successful the team was, and they get moved up. And this is the last season of the Carolina Mudcats. They're going to be the Wilson Warbirds next year. It'll still be the same team, but it's the last I forget the city now it's in that Kevin Holden reminded me of, but they're moving to Wilson, and it will still be affiliated with Milwaukee, but obviously it won't be quite the Carolina Mudcats anymore. But still, you can't fault them for having all the credit in the world to get Mate and Pena ready for high A. That's their job in low A, right?
Absolutely right. And again, the quicker they get through the minors, the quicker they're in to the bigs and playing for the Brewers.
Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports, going to join us here on the other side. Steve Sparky Fifer, Tommy Wortz here with you, getting you caught up on all things Brewers Braves ahead of game number 3 and salivating over the minor leagues at the same time as well, too. Let's get to Drew Wagner right after this. It is the Leadoff Show live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 up in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
What's the latest on the crew? Let's go inside the clubhouse with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Inside the Clubhouse is brought to you by Focus Baseball. Sign your kids up now for July open tryouts at focusbaseball.com, ages 6 to 17.
Welcome back to the Leadoff Show. Tommy Wortz here with you. Before we get over to Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports, let me run down Milwaukee's lineup one more time today. Sal Frelick back in the lineup. He's in right field, leading things off. William Contreras, the catcher, will bat second. Isaac Collins in left field will bat third. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats fourth today. Andrew Vaughn at first base will bat fifth. Blake Perkins in center field will bat sixth. Bryce Terang at second base bats seventh today. Anthony Siegler at third base will bat eighth. Joey Ortiz rounds things out. He is the shortstop, batting ninth for the crew. Joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law Offices, as he does each and every day. You can follow his work at Forbes Sports, The Fan Milwaukee. You can follow him on Twitter @byAndrewWagner. It is Drew Wagner joining us here on the Leadoff Show. Second time today on the station, Mr. Wagner. How are we doing so far?
I'm glad it's you and not your quasi co-host for the day, because I don't think I can talk to Sparky anymore.
Oh no, I don't.
Here.
He's here.
I am
He's here. He's at
waiting
the Wisconsin.
for you.
He's at the
I'm
state
waiting.
fair.
Hey, wait a second here. Hold on. Let me interrupt, because Tommy, you don't even know. So, Drew, you're coming down here to the state fair tonight, right?
Yeah, the governor's blue ribbon livestock auction.
Tommy, you ever been?
No, but I was talking about beef auctions and judging yesterday with Drew for a little bit on the show, and I think Drew looks like a great person to judge beef. I mean,
I'm just going for the drinking, man.
Yeah,
I'm going for the drinking.
A PBR in hand and a Turnpike Troubadour T-shirt, and it's just keeping it real.
I'll be dressed well tonight. It's a area night. It's a boots night. It's a button down and hat night. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
Drew,
love it.
So Jack Pembroke is out here, who hosts, the Saturday show with Charlie, Wisconsin Sports Weekend. And he said to me in the last break, he's like, man, I might have to become a country music fan looking at all these girls walking around out here with boots and stuff on at this point. Wouldn't it be more beneficial to you to go to the party concert versus going to some livestock auction or something?
Yeah, dude, I tell you what, give me a corn-fed Wisconsin egg girl any day, and I'm fine with that. The real country folk are going to be in the Coliseum. The people at the concert, they're the city folk. They're the ones that have, like, the shiny boots that have never, walked through manure in their life.
Yes, that's what I've seen. Yes, that's what I've seen, yes.
You set him up so beautifully for that. I mean, you just knew he was going to say that. Drew Wagner joining us here, Forbes Sports. You can find his work. Follow him on Twitter @byAndrewWagner. And Drew, the Milwaukee Brewers, I mean, it's hard to find anything to nitpick or complain about how this team is playing. Their best 60-game stretch now in team history, and they continue to just find ways to win. Even Freddie Peralta, who looks a little shaky yesterday, really, I mean, earlier in the year we were talking about how awesome his inning starts go, and he's able to get the strikeouts that he does. Yesterday, your reaction to the Brewers winning 7-2 over the Atlanta Braves, and now another series victory for Milwaukee.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, right? Is racking up those victories, increasing the one-loss record, clinching series, creating separation from the division. Until that's locked up, until a playoff spot's clinched, until a division title is clinched, that's the only thing that matters. Yeah, you definitely want more out of Freddie Peralta, but they got the job done yesterday. They got the victory. They clinched the series. Now you go for the sweep and try to preserve that lead.
Drew, another question I want to bring up, and we talked about it here, me and Sparky on the station, on this show here. Brewers 23-6 now in their last 29 road games on the season, including 11-1 in their last 12, have a 6-game winning streak. And the big topic was the splits between Joey Ortiz's performance on the road, who is now batting .286 and has an OPS over 700 during that time, versus he's batting like what did we say it was, 30 at home, 150 at home, Sparky, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll give you the numbers right here. This is the thing, and I haven't really heard anybody talk about it. At at home, 149, 183 on base for Joey Ortiz, 232 slugging at home for Joey Ortiz. Not even remotely close.
So what is the difference? Like, why is it so
I
drastic?
I don't know. I saw that tweet yesterday, and I had to go look it up myself because I'm like, that can't be right. But, yeah, it is. And you know what? No one has asked because usually it's the other way around. Usually you hit a lot better at home. So that's a good one to keep in mind. Honestly, don't know. It just goes to show that baseball is always – you start to expect something as normal, and then it comes up and gives you the exact opposite.
Well, and even Freddie Peralta, right? I mean, he gets into a little trouble. It's not a bad start by any means yesterday, but he's another guy who has massive splits difference between pitching at home and on the road, and he's way better at American Family Field than he is on the road. Is there something that is different between hitting and pitching even on that, Drew?
I think it all depends on the person. It really does. And maybe that gets into your head. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just you're used to, like for Freddie, maybe you're just used to the dirt. You're used to the mound, and you can plant your foot. I don't know. There are so many little things that go into it, and sometimes it's just a coincidence. I mean, look at Zach Greinke's numbers in Milwaukee over the course of his career. I mean, a guy was virtually unhittable, unbeatable in Milwaukee. Never really understood why that is. Certain guys just play better in certain places, and maybe it's because you have a little bit of success there and you go in with like additional confidence. I don't know. It is truly one of those fluky things because mathematically, scientifically, there's nothing that really says you should play better one place or the other.
Yeah, absolutely. Drew Wagner joining us here. Follow him on Twitter @byAndrewWagner. One more thing to bring up as well. We do it every single time we talk now, it feels like. But Andrew Vaughn just continues to stay hot as well. Now an 11-game hitting streak for Vaughn, in which he's batting .429 over that stretch. Drew, how serious are we about Andrew Vaughn now, and what is going to happen when Rhys Hoskins comes back? Is the plan, do you think, to put Yelich back in the outfield? Because it almost has to be at this point. But then you got to decide between who do you want to take out with Churio, Frelick, and Collins, right?
I mean, it's going to be a tough decision, that's for sure. Listen, having a bat like Rhys Hoskins available off the bench isn't a bad thing to have. I mean, you want to have some pop off the bench in late game situations, and he's definitely a guy that can provide it. I think right now you have to go with the hot hand. I mean, Andrew Vaughn, you have to take it for real now. It's still a small sample size, but it's been pretty consistent. He hasn't dropped off at all. You thought maybe it was just a hot start. It's well beyond that now. We're going on, a month here since he's been called up, and he just continues to produce. If he was going out there and had like an Eric Thames-style April where he was just every ball was leaving the yard, I'd say, okay, maybe this is a bit of a fluke. But right now he's doing it all offensively. He's having really good at-bats. He's driving the baseball hard. He's hitting it hard. He's splitting the gaps. He's hitting the off field. Like, you have to take it as real at this point. Until he shows you otherwise, you have to just say, okay, this is real, and let him ride until Hoskins comes back. Because, listen, it's still a little bit of ways to go until you see Hoskins in the lineup. So it's still Andrew Vaughn's job for the foreseeable future.
Drew, also one more thing to bring up. Shelby Miller now as well yesterday had a clean inning, struck out the side in his rehab outing. All signs were pointing to, if everything went well and everything felt well after, he would be added to the major league roster after this. Any rumblings, any buzz on that? And if you have any speculation on who might be nervous about leaving this major league club to make room for Shelby Miller?
Well, it sounds like you could see him as early as Friday in Milwaukee. As for who gets the bump, I don't know. That's a tough one. Maybe you think about sending down, excuse me, I'm drawing a blank here, Hall or Ashby. I forgot. Have they sent Myers back down yet?
Myers at AAA? I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I think so,
Yeah, I thought he did get sent back down. So, yeah, I would guess that maybe Hall or Ashby. And listen, it's going to come down to who was the last guy that pitched that had available options. That's what it's going to come down to. Like, who is the freshest expendable arm? That's what it's going to come down to.
Drew, thank you so much. Have a good time at the beef auction of, Destiny. I forgot what it was called there, but you'll have a great time.
Blue Ribbon Livestock Auction.
Blue Ribbon. And will you have a couple of paps with you there, too, then?
I will probably have some libations, my friend.
All
I'm
right.
heading down there shortly.
Well, have a good time tonight. We'll talk again on Friday, my friend.
Sounds good. See you.
There he is, Drew Wagner, jumping off the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. One more thing to get to before we get out of here.
How does the Crew win today's game? Who needs to step up? Let's find out with the keys to the game. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Keys to the game, always how we wrap things up here on the Leadoff Show. Mr. Fifer, anything jump out to you that stands out for a key to tonight's game to get the sweep in Atlanta before I go?
I'm just not a huge Quintana fan necessarily on a start-to-start basis, but 6-1 with a 2.49 ERA on the road. He gives up 3 runs or less. Brewers win this baseball game. Strider hasn't had, a Spencer Strider type year that everybody would expect for the Atlanta Braves, but still it's going to be a tough matchup, I think, for the Brewers coming up tonight.
Last 15 games, he is batting .368 with a .455 on base percentage and a .561 slugging. That is an OPS over 1,000. Mr. Isaac Collins, looking at you in the number 3 spot today as well, if you're going to be up in that spot. Pat Murphy has you there for a reason. You would think that he loves putting the speed guy in the 5 spot lately, and he's not doing that again today with Andrew Vaughn as well.
He's putting the best hitter in the lineup in the 3-hole.
Right.
He's the best hitter in the lineup. I don't know how you can debate Isaac Collins isn't the best hitter, and that's where the guy should bat if he's the best hitter. I think it's a good move by Murphy.
Betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, plus 400 of Isaac Collins to win Rookie of the Year. That is the 3rd best odds. It is ahead now of Jacob Mizorowski, who is at plus 1,500, who is currently 4th.
Perfectly placed IL stint.
Mr. Fifer, thank you so much for joining me today over at the Wisconsin State Fair. You'll be back all this week still. I know Wisconsin Sports Daily is going to be great over there the next 2 days, 2 to 5. Enjoy the rest of your day, my friend. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Tim Dillard, Brewers analyst from FanDuel Sports Network, tomorrow at 3:20 on The Fan.
Should be awesome. Drew Wagner going to join us again tomorrow as well on the Mason Crosby Show. This has been the Leadoff Show. We are out of time today. Jose Quintana versus Spencer Strider, Game 3 in Atlanta. We will be back on Friday as Brandon Woodruff will take on Kodai Senga of the New York Mets. Brewers' first pitch then will be at 7:10. Leadoff Show at 6 o'clock. Live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Don't forget, send them home.